And October marks Black History Month in the United Kingdom. The event was officially recognized by the United States government in 1976 and first celebrated in the UK in 1987. People from African and Caribbean backgrounds have been a fundamental part of British history for centuries. However, campaigners believe their value and contribution to society is often overlooked or distorted. And most schools still teach a history curriculum which focuses on traditional events and the achievements of white figures. Black History Month gives everyone the opportunity to share, celebrate, and understand the impact of Black heritage and culture. The event is intended to recognize the contribution and achievements of those with African or Caribbean heritage. It is also an opportunity for people to learn more about the effects of racism and how to challenge negative stereotypes. When Black History Month first started in the UK, there was a big focus on Black American history. Over time, there has been more attention on Black British history, and key Black figures from the UK, such as Black History Month, is also celebrated in the community in places such as museums, care homes, and workplaces. And joining me now to have virtually from London for more on Black history is Yewande Oyekenu, who is the Regional Volunteer Coordinator of the International Human Rights Commission in the UK. Good to have you join us.
Thank you.
So I was listening to a conversation by David Curtin, who is the leader of the Heritage Party, and he says there is no benefit to the Black History Month. And I just wanted to react to that and also state what you think are the benefits of the Black History Month.
Yes, thank you very much. I must say that there are numerous benefits to the Black History Month. For example, when the COVID pandemic started, I'm a member of the British Pharmacological Society. So we were asked at our society to support our colleagues who are in the NHS because they were struggling. So as pharmacologists, microbiologists, other people who were not, clinicians actually left the laboratory and we had to go into the hospital to support. When the COVID-19 vaccine came out, it was eureka for us. For scientists, it was a good thing to celebrate at the British Pharmacology Society. But being on the field, being a COVID-19 responder, I was, actually there as a responder at home and on the field. I spoke with patients who were lonely, who were depressed. These are people who are white, for example. They don't care whether you are Black or not. They just want to hear someone to keep them happy, to reassure them that they are not going to die from COVID. So as a neuroscience researcher, I can work as a neuroscientist, a psychologist, and a behavioral scientist. A lot of things has happened, and I am glad that this month, the Royal Voluntary Service, NHS COVID-19 Responder Scheme is recognizing me as a people of color role model. This is because of the actions I have taken in the past and my most recent action by taking part in the Queen's funeral. So I think Black History Month is an opportunity for us to redefine who we are. The reason why I was chosen for people of color role model is because a lot of Black people are doing very good things, wonderful things. They are the best in their schools. However, the same Black community is the one producing the criminals and, all sorts of actions we are not proud of. When you ask an average white person, what is Africa? They'll say, oh, Africa is a country and the capital is Nigeria. That's why this Black History Month, we should all have our flag so that when somebody tells you he's going to Africa as a white person, as a Black British person, as a, African descent person, ask them where in Africa, because this has caused pain to Nigeria, pain to Nigerians in diaspora. So I am holding my flag this month. I'm making my hair African braids, and I will be teaching. I recognize myself as being Yoruba, and it will remain so by helping people who cannot understand science or patients who have difficulty with understanding what the physician is saying because they speak in English. So we are going to increase the number of translators to help Black patients.
Right.
So for me,
let me say congratulations to you, because I mean that's no small feat to be recognized. And it's also interesting that You mentioned the health sector, because basically the theme for the Black History Month is really focused on Black health and wellness, and the role that Black people have played in history in the health sector. But let me talk to you about racism, because there are those who think that, look, especially for example, in the UK, for children, you find that in the citizens' education, I think that has now been added to the curriculum, and a lot of subjects have now been added. And some people feel as though for children, they are too young to be taught issues around Black history and racism, that basically what you're doing is teaching them color, which children do not recognize. I want you to also speak to that.
Yes, as I said, I am a member of the British Pharmacological Society. I am part of the education engagement team. What we do is we have meetings and we try to rewrite the British curriculum. I am happy I'm also on that team to help support the British curriculum. Somebody once shared that she went to a school with children that were, below the age of 12 or 13, and she was telling them that there was no difference. And she said the children immediately said, no, there is a difference, because, they are not blind, even if they don't want to talk about color. But the children were fast to say, no, there is a difference. And metabolically, when we take, medication, there is a difference between Black, white, Asian, Chinese. And that's what, my book is about. And it has been translated into 15 languages. So we are celebrating the fact that race can be involved in health way.
Do you feel as though this is the issues around Black history and just being Black is still systemic today, especially racism is still systemic today? Because some people feel, look, we're in a different era today, and that we have a lot of Black successful people in the society, in places like the US and the UK. And so maybe racism is not so much of a big deal as it used to be.
Yes. Racism is something that you cannot, for instance, let's assume I'm white, you cannot force me to take a Black employee. You can't. If I don't want to, I don't want to. So what we are doing now is we are working with organizations in Africa that can support Africans at home and abroad, and especially African diaspora that want to return to Africa. Returning to Africa for many African Americans or British, Black, or Caribbean might be a suicide mission. It might be. So we are working to say, okay, even if people are being racist, there's nothing I can do, but I can go home. But where is home? If someone told me I want to relocate to Nigeria, I would say, don't go there. Because I myself, if I do go to Nigeria, I know the precautions I need to take. So we don't want people saying, okay, because of racism, I'm going, excuse me, I'm going back to Africa. So Africa needs to do a lot of things at home and in the diaspora to support us in prevention of racism. So this month, we are endorsing Black-owned organizations so that even if you feel you went into the mall and people were being racist, then you can always go into a Black-owned store and say, okay, I feel comfortable when I go to African shop. For example, I've come to buy Gary. Nobody's going to be racist to me. So, because we are all Black in the store. So we want Black-owned organizations to support their Black community. Right. They want to show places where they are safe. So we are endorsing organizations and they're welcome to come on board.
Thank you so much for talking to us here one day. And again, congratulations. We'll be speaking with Regional Volunteer Coordinator of the International Human Rights Commission in the UK, Yewande Oyeken. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.